and welcome back to my channel. This week isn't going to be a studio vlog like I normally do, but it's going to be a little Kickstarter tips video that hopefully you guys will get help from, and you might understand a little bit more about Kickstarter if you've heard about it before but don't really know what it's all about. Hopefully this video will help you out. I'll be just going through a few of my tips that I've learned because I did an amazing Kickstarter last year. Was not expecting it to be so successful, but it was, and I'm very grateful to anyone that backed my Kickstarter last year. But there are still a few things that I would change now. I had a little look back on it the other day, and there's so many things that I would change and do differently. So maybe I can put that towards a new Kickstarter that may be happening this year at some point. Anyway, so I'm just going to talk you through a few of my tips that I have and that I've gained from my Kickstarter, and hopefully it'll help you and maybe give you the courage to just go for it. Fingers crossed. Right, let's get cracking, shall we? Okay, so let's quickly just talk about Kickstarter. Now, if you haven't heard about Kickstarter, it's a crowdfunding page where you can use it to get a product or a project made that maybe you aren't able to do yourself or afford yourself. It is mainly that. People mainly use it for things that they can't afford to get made themselves. For example, my first Kickstarter was for my first ever enamel pin. This little beauty. I've wanted to do an enamel pin since I started my business. So it was a huge dream of mine, but I've never been able to afford it. And also Kickstarter, what's great about it in a way is that you can put something up on there, and if you don't reach your goal, it won't get made, which is sad, but it's also, if there's something that you want, so for example, if I got the enamel pin made, and put it out there and no one bought it, then I've got all these enamel pins and they're not going to sell. So with Kickstarter, I thought I'll put this enamel pin out there, something I want to make, something I'm passionate about. But if I don't reach that goal, it means that I don't get them made, which is in a way good because it means that potentially at that time people don't want to buy that kind of pin. Does that make sense? So yeah, there's, pros and cons to it, but that's what I did with mine. It's because I couldn't afford to get the pin made myself. So Kickstarter helped me out massively, and it was really successful. So yeah, it was a good one. So yeah, that's what Kickstarter is in a nutshell. It's just a crowdfunding page where people can come and support your project or product that you want to make, just a dream of yours. And yeah, it just gets people involved, and it's quite nice because it means that if you do reach your goal, those Kickstarter backers should feel very, very special because they are the reason why that project or product has been made. So yeah, it's just a really nice, supportive little platform for small businesses. Okay, so let's get on to tip number 1. Know what you want to do as your project. So before you start Kickstarter, make sure you have a good think about what you want to put up on Kickstarter. Think about what you want people to back. And this is what I did. I knew that I wanted to get this pin made. I knew I couldn't afford it. I remember putting the design out and like on social media. So if that's something you want to do as well, maybe put something that you are unsure of, put it out on social media. I put the design of the pin out. People loved it. So I knew that I could potentially have some backers and some people interested in this Kickstarter. So, but yeah, make sure you know what you want to put out there and what you want people to back. And make sure you kind of figure out if you just want one package that people can back or 2. And by that I mean, for example, I had 2 options. So you could back my pin, my enamel pin at a discounted price that I'd sell it on my shop, as well as a holographic free sticker. And then there was another option that I put out there, so you get the pin at a discounted price, a free sticker, and a postcard with a personalised letter from me to you. So there were 2 options there for people, and they were different prices. I think one was £6 and one was £8, something like that. So have a little think if there's different options that you want to give people as well. But you've also got to think of what you're going to add in there to make it extra special. But yeah, just make sure you know exactly what you want to put on your Kickstarter. Okay, tip number 2, go through your prices. So make sure before you start your Kickstarter, once you've figured out what you want to put on there, go through your pricing. And by that, I mean, make sure you find out the manufacturing prices of this project. Make sure you find out if you want to add extras like I did with my postcards and my stickers. Make sure you find out how much they are going to cost. And then also add in your packaging, so like your letters that you're going to put them in, or your parcels, boxes, whatever you're going to put them in. Make sure you figure out the pricing on that. And then of course postage costs. Now all these things, even though I did them, I didn't do them correctly and it didn't go too well. So for example, I literally, like I said, I had 2 options. I had the £6, which had the enamel pin and the sticker, and then I had the £8 option, which had the enamel pin, sticker, postcard and letter. Now, I just calculated the pins, so I didn't really add in. I wasn't really good at costing at the time. I've definitely gotten better. There's a lot more room for improvement, but yeah, I didn't really include anything else. So in a way, I kind of made a loss, which, you know, sucks, but it's part of the learning curve of a small business, right? So yeah, so make sure you go through everything and figure out the best price for your option or options. And then I did make a huge mistake when it came to the postage costs. I filled out the UK and international one both on my £8 option, so the higher option, but I didn't put in international on my first option. I don't know what happened. I must have forgotten or something like that. So every backer, and I had, quite a fair few, probably half of my backers, bearing in mind I had 97 backers, half of them were international. So that meant, yeah, so I missed out on international postage costs. I mean, amazingly, I was able to message everyone explaining that I'm sorry, and a load of them got back to me, but not everyone. So please make sure you go through your pricing, make sure you're charging the right amount for you, because at the end of the day, even though it's something that will help you create something, you are still a business, and you still want to make some sort of profit. So make sure you go through all your margins, make sure you go through all your prices, and make sure you have ticked everything and sorted your postage out. We've also got Kickstarter fees on top. So it says online that they take 5% of your total funds, and then with payment processing fees, they take 3% plus 20 pence per pledge. And then if there's any pledges under £10, have a discounted micro pledge fee of 5% plus 0.5 pence per pledge. So please bear that in mind when you are pricing everything up. Okay, so once you've covered all those bits and pieces, it's on to the fun bit of Kickstarter, and that is setting up your page. Okay, so for this, I'm going to pop up my Kickstarter that I've still got on there. I mean, obviously it's all done now, but I'm going to go through my Kickstarter, maybe go through some others that I've really enjoyed looking at, and show you what I mean by setting up your page and how important it is. You want to make it really inviting, creative, but easy and fun to read at the same time. So yeah, let's go over to my laptop. I'll pop the screen on here and we can have a little look at mine and other Kickstarters. Okay, so as you can see, we are on my Kickstarter page that I had up last year for my first ever Kickstarter, and straight away, you can see exactly what this Kickstarter is and what you will be backing. It's a black nickel-plated hard enamel pin. It's a pin that reflects a load of self-love and positivity. And you can also see that I've included here all about the free sticker that comes with it. So that it's so simple, but I would also always advise on the page to make sure you include up here what the project is called. So Know Your Worth enamel pin is mine, and a little image of what the product or project you are creating and working on, and just so people know what they can expect potentially that they're backing for. Okay, so if you scroll down, you will see my campaign. So I started off my campaign with my story. So I just spoke a little bit about me and my business, what I create, and the fact that this dream of mine to make an enamel pin has been there since I started my journey. So people know how important and how exciting this project is for me. I did include a photo of myself. If you feel comfortable to, I would always advise to just to include something that's got you in it. People just love seeing a face behind the business, and I think it's just because they get to connect a little bit more with you, and they get to really see what people just like looking at people, I think. In a non-weird way. But yeah, I included a picture of me, and then I went on to talk about why I've chosen Kickstarter. So people know, the reasons why I've gone with Kickstarter, and what I like about it, and so on. And then I've included another image where it goes through again my Know Your Worth enamel pin design. The goal that I wanted to reach, not £2.50. I don't know why it says that, but it's £250 was my goal. And I just list the things about the pin: the exclusive sticker, the size of that sticker, and the exclusive postcard and the size of that postcard. So yeah, it just gives people more of an insight, and they get to see what they will expect as part of being a backer of this project. Try and give people as much information and show them as much as possible so they know exactly what they are pledging towards. Just make them love it even more. And then I just talk a little bit about the design and extras. So why I went with this design, just because it was based on a new collection that I brought out about self-love. And then I talk about some extras, like my stretch goals. And then I talk about the time frame. This is really, really important to write the time frame down, because people who are new to Kickstarter might be confused about it all and how it all works. Something that I haven't included in here, which is very important for you guys to include, and I will include in my next one, is just explain how it all works. So with Kickstarter, you get to choose 30 days that it runs for, or, I think you get to choose, and then if you want to choose more, you get to put in an amount, I believe. I always will choose 30 days, and I think a lot of people do. And that is only simply because, you're better off having a time frame. It means you can keep, trying to reach your goal, trying to reach your stretch goals, showcasing it online, really bigging it up. And it also gives people like urgency. So if you're like, guys, there's only 5 days left until this Kickstarter ends, because there'll be people that will want to see it, who will see it the first day you launch it and go, oh, I can't afford it at the moment, I'll wait until the end of the month. But they might forget about it. So yeah, so when they see that, they'll go, oh my God, right, I need to go and pledge for it now. So yeah, now with Kickstarter, please make sure you let your pledgers know that the money will not be leaving their account until the Kickstarter is over. So until those 30 days are over, that's when the money gets taken out of their account. So during that time, they can unback. They can, if they've run out money, or they can't afford it that month now, let them know within those 30 days they can unpledge, and that the money won't come out of their account. So make sure you include that. I didn't include that. So yeah, I just go through the rough time schedule. So when I launch the Kickstarter, when it'll end, and then I talk about how long the Kickstarter funds will be to get
into my account. So it takes around 2 weeks. So as soon as I get those funds, that's when I was able to order the pins. And then I talk about how long the production takes. Always ask your manufacturer how long it will all take. Mine took about 4 weeks. And yeah, I ended up sending it around the end of November, I think, or maybe mid-December. There was a lot to package. But yeah, just make sure you include those so everyone knows exactly what's going on, how long the process is going to take. And then just talk about the risks and the challenges of you know, if it's your first ever Kickstarter, talk about that. If it's your first ever product being made, talk about that as well. But I've also included how well trusted my manufacturer was, as I got it from a friend on Instagram. They have their pins made by this manufacturer, and I've seen the pins, I've got a couple of theirs, and they're amazing, and I just knew that it would be a good idea to go with that manufacturer. So yeah, make sure you let people know that so they feel confident and comfortable with backing this, you know, this project. Make it really appealing, attractive, you know, add your colours to it, add your business colours, you know, your colour schemes, add photos. There's so much more that I would do now differently to make it even more fun. So I'm going to quickly pop over to Emily Harvey's one of Emily Harvey's Kickstarter pages, which I think is, you know, slightly better than mine, as in looks wise, because as you can see straight away, there we go, you've got what she's doing, what this Kickstarter is all about, and you scroll down and you go to the campaign. And this is what I like. Loads of people are doing these where they're little boxes with your font or whatever. It just, so you know where it says story, maybe I can go, instead of saying hello here, say it in the box in my font. Another photo, that's great, I did that. But yeah, this is what I mean. Why Kickstarter? The first pin, you know, there's so much more you can add to it just to make it more appealing and more fun and easy to read. But yeah, so they're all my little tips on making your Kickstarter campaign and page look appealing, fun, and easy to read.
So yeah, I hope you got the gist of what I'm trying to say about making your page really inviting, colourful, but easy to read as well as fun to read. I hope my page and my example of Emily Harvey's portrayed that for you. But yeah, they're just all the main tips I have for Kickstarter. Enjoy it, and remember that, you know, luckily my first ever one was very successful, but I know that if I did a Kickstarter 2 years ago, so a year into my business, it wouldn't have been a success. Only because at that time, I would have done something that was rushed. I would have done something that wasn't really me. You know, I'm 3 years down the line now. I know my style. I know what I want to create. I've got an amazing community and following over Instagram. And I knew that I would have some backers. So, you know, if you are doing a Kickstarter for the first time, and just remember that if it doesn't reach the goal, it doesn't happen, please don't beat yourself up about it. You know, those kind of things happen, and it's just something that you can learn from. Maybe you can look back on and think, right, what did I do wrong there? Was it something that you weren't really passionate about? Was it something that, you know, was kind of like, oh, I'll just give it a try, instead of something that was like, no, this is what I really want to do. This is when I really think people will be interested in it. So there's things that you can learn from that if you don't reach your Kickstarter goal. But also remember that it might just not have been your time, and there's no limit to your Kickstarters. So, you know, you can do as many as you want. So there's so many more other options and times for you to do some more Kickstarters and to succeed in them. But yeah, I really, really hope this video has helped you out in some sort of way. If you are starting a Kickstarter or there's one currently going on, please comment the link below. I'd love to check your Kickstarters out, and other people that hopefully watch this video will want to check your Kickstarters out as well. So please link them below. If you have any questions, please also comment them below and I will answer them, or come and ask me on Instagram. I'll put all my socials in the description below. for you to come and check me out and follow me or whatever you want to do. Yeah, but I just really hope that this has helped. I've learned so much from my first Kickstarter, and these are the things that, you know, like making sure my postage costs are right, making my page more appealing and more fun to read, making sure I've priced everything correctly. Then there's just loads of things that I've learned from it. So I'm very excited to do, you know, like I said, another Kickstarter potentially this year. I'm excited. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed watching this video and you are interested in potentially seeing other tips videos, I don't do loads on here. I do a lot of my tips videos on my Patreon, but I do some sometimes on here like this. I've also done an Instagram tips video as well, but I also do a studio. It's mainly my weekly studio vlogs that I do on here, so if you fancy checking them out and you've enjoyed this video and others, please press that subscribe button. It means so much to me, and please give it a like and please share it if you know people that would benefit from this kind of video. I'm going to leave you now because otherwise I will talk forever. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, and I hope it's helped you, and I'm excited to see other people's Kickstarters, and yeah, I will see you maybe in my other studio vlogs. Bye, guys.